Ask Me Anything by Redical. I'm a guy who went to prison for trolling swatting. Ask Me Anything. Hello, my name is Kyle. I just left prison on Wednesday following an early release on my 4-year 11-month sentence for threatening to shoot up a school in Ohio from my home in Florida on 4chan. In no way, shape or form should you do this. Please learn from my mistake if you are taking the same path of trolling and internet addiction. I am here to share my story and answer any questions related to trolling or prison. I want to help encourage you to talk about the dangers of cyberbullying, threatening, and trolling. What was the process of being initially detained? Did the FBI just knock on your door while you were home and said you were under arrest? Well, the FBI agent and my local sheriff did not press charges. However, the FBI agent did have to report his findings to the Ohio sheriff. Then, they pressed charges and I was arrested at work, taken to jail and waited 27 days for extradition. What was the reaction of your co-workers when you were taken away in handcuffs? What was the moment when you realized, oh man, this might not be considered a prank and I may be in deeper trouble than I initially thought? The minute the voice on the other end of the phone claimed to be an FBI agent. Sounds like a scam. Are you sure it was the FBI and that you went to a real prison? Do you still browse 4chan or have you sworn off that website since getting arrested? I'm sure you've had a lot of time to think about what caused you to threaten that. I have sworn off the website. It hasn't even touched my address bar. It's like a PTSD thing for me now. What kind of limitations, if any, do you have on your web usage? Glad to see that it appears that you have learned from your mistakes and are actively working to convince others to not follow in your footsteps. What is your biggest takeaway from this experience? To work as hard as I can to be the great person I know I can be. My life was a wreck when I was doing all that stuff. I was overeating, drinking every day, and I dropped out of school. So do you think prison helped you as a person? What was the most difficult aspect about adjusting to prison life? What did you do with your time? The most difficult thing is adjusting to zero privacy and being treated less than human by guards and other staff. Follow up. What has been the hardest adjustment coming out as a convicted felon? So, how do your friends and family view you? I'm sure it'll be a fun topic to bring up around the holidays. They know I would never truly hurt anyone, but they understand I was being a drunk douche and watching me throw my life away. I am very lucky for a shot at redemption. Do you have a job now? What is it? How are you getting back on your feet? I have several jobs lined up. Hope I will be hired back tomorrow. What was your job before you were arrested? I was a weekend custodial guy at the University of South Florida, a position I held for almost 5 years. What was their reaction? They fire you immediately, or did you quit? What do you think you might do for work now? Aside from what you were arrested for, what do you think was the worst thing you did online while trolling? 100% other than that, it was mostly sports trolling on SP. Him and half of r/NBA. Have you ever watched the Fresh Out series on YouTube about prison getting out? It's really interesting and I'm wondering if you had similar experiences. youtube.com/FreshOut series. Like, did you ever get your cheeks busted or have to split some wigs? I have been notified of it and have bookmarked it for future viewing. I am still getting caught up. Did doing stuff like that give you a high? What was your primary motivation? And how do you recommend getting across to others who still partake in harmful pranks and cyberbullying? Absolutely, it was a high, coupled with being drunk. It was a different kind of euphoria, having the power to make people freak out, think something bad is going to happen when it really isn't. Did the realization that there are actual dangers incurred from such behavior make you feel a sense of guilt and as though you had done something definitely wrong? Do you feel regret over your decisions and not because of the impact it had on you personally? Up thread, you mentioned the euphoria of manipulating people. There are a lot of programs and ideas being thrown about on how to discourage other people, especially young people, from doing something similar. What do you think would be most effective? Showing the weirdness of being disconnected from the constant flow of information. Like, I can't count the times I wish I could have googled the answer to something or have even checked simple baseball scores. Don't worry, the Rays still suck. How exactly did they track you down? The FBI got my IP address and my ICE gave them my billing info. Should have used an incognito tab. Edit. Come on guys, 17k and no gold, WTF. How does it feel to be Florida man? Breaking. Florida man knows how it feels to be Florida man. Deleted 0.2098. What is this? Jeopardy and Magic the Gathering. Out of prison for a few days and you're already on a life-destroying, expensive habit. TSK. What made you think that was a good idea? I'm not even being an a-hole, I promise. When I was a freshman, 2000, a kid in my grade made a bomb threat though some really vague communication with someone on a burner phone. They caught him quickly and we never saw him again. Even though you were states away, you weren't nervous? Did you know they were coming for you? Or was it a surprise? Thank you. I followed you from the other thread. It was kind of like the old 4chan Cardston threads, you know, the one where someone would post the webcam of Times Square that was positioned in front of a store with a card stand out front. OP would then say, hey, I am going to tip over that card stand in 30 minutes, and then it never happens. It was like that. Hey, I am going to shoot up a school in 4 hours. The goal is to make you wait the 4 hours to see if it actually happens. Maybe don't write that you're going to shoot up a school in 4 hours again in all caps. Where do you think you're going after this? And how do you think it changed from what way you would be going? I would be dead now. My drinking would have gotten to the point where I could have gone drinking and driving. Now, even through this painful experience, I see a light. I am smarter and more driven to be an amazing, hard-working person who will overcome this thing. How has society changed the most in those few years you were in prison to now? Anything that particularly surprised, shocked, or amazed you? We pre-trialed it all the way until the day before actual trial. Then I flipped my plea and took the deal. What was your daily routine in prison? Wake up about 6:30 am. Go to breakfast. Come back. Watch the first hour of GMA. Then watch Match Game on GSM. Then go outside to listen to BBC News Hour on my radio. Come back in 4 count. Lunch. Afternoon get instructor job. Count again. Dinner. Jeopardy. More TV then bed. Rinse. Repeat. Something about this mundane routine makes me think prison is like being unemployed and single. What was your first meal once you got out of prison? My family and I ordered a 120 nugget party platter from Chick-fil-A in Princeton. WV. It was Ask Me Anything Zing. Holy shit, that must have cost a lot of GBPs. How was prison? Did you make any friends? For your information, Mods Nuked replies to this comment because OP posted exactly where to find his prison buddy. So to any curious minds, yes, he made a good friend and they taught GED classes together. They were the smartest people in there. That's all I'm gonna say. Edit. Added sarcastic quotes. Thanks. What was the thought process behind the school you picked? Was it just totally random? Data to map sort of thing? What was your trial like? Was the prosecution focused on proving you made the threats? Or trying to show how damaging the effect was? Or trying to paint you as a dangerous character? It was basically a random place I picked out. Oh. The prosecution did everything they could. The media followed my case every time I had a pre-trial. There was the camera. I wonder how you even came across Ironton all the way from Florida. I lived right across the Ohio River from these Ironton schools, like less than 15 minutes away, and I remember all the ruckus when this happened, and all I could think was, how does someone from Florida even know Ironton exists? How do you feel now coming back to the internet? I feel like I'd never use the internet again after going to prison for it. I thought I would be banned from the internet. So much has changed. It's taking a while to get used to. Like, why is the Facebook app 600 millibars on Android? It's 60 millibars for me. I think you got the FBI bloatware version. Are prisons really as racially segregated as shown on TV? Were you only able to socialize with other people who shares your skin color? No, not really. The prison I was at was about 55% African American, 40% white, and 5% other races. Most guys are cool with each other. The only thing that really causes problems is calling someone a bitch regardless of race. Was getting caught a part of your plan? Of course. Imagine being the king of B, suddenly getting locked up for 2 years. then being let back out to a world where even Reddit's trolling you with memes you missed. Did you ever feel like a criminal when you did the trolling, and did you ever think it could backfire? No, I just felt like your average troll, just took it a little too far obviously. Thanks for watching this Redical video. Subscribe for the best Reddit videos straight to your feed 3 times a day.